What the hell did you just watch? We need to go back a bit. Rudeus is currently working as an adventurer in the northern part of the central continent to make a name for himself and find Zenith. It's been 5 years since the mana teleportation incident, and finding someone after so long is going to be hard. Harder than finding Nemo. Yes, that hard. You don't know if the other person is even alive. Are they imprisoned? Do they have memory loss? So many factors that can interfere in his search. But despite that, he still pushes forward. Now we know that Zenith is actually in the Begarit continent, which is kind of like a slap in the face to Rudeus after so long. Begarit? Where the fuck? Thank you for asking. So the Begarit continent is south of the central continent. The monsters there are the second strongest in the world, on average, and the demon continent being number 1. If you want to know more about the rich and deep history of Mushoku Tensei, then do check out my world map video. So Rudeus's plan was something like this. If you're searching for a left-handed person from a crowd of 1,000 people, you'll have to manually search each person, which can take forever. But if you ask a crowd of 1,000 people, hey, who's left-handed? You'll get a small group of people who claim that they are left-handed, and after you verify each one to remove the liars from the ones telling the truth, you'll get what you're looking for. So to translate this into real life, he needs to become famous so that people refer to him as the boy that's searching for his mother. This will shorten the time he spends searching for Zenith and also make her seek him out, which is pretty smart. Once he's in the north, he joins different adventurer groups as a substitute magician, in case they're going on a difficult quest or their only mage is unavailable due to, I don't know, like death, because adventuring is literally playing with your life. Remember when Mimir, the dude that was referred to as Walmart Ruger, died? Yeah, it's pretty common in this field of work. So anyway, in these quests, Rudeus just spams a very helpful spell called Quagmire, a combination between water and earth magic. It spawns like a quicksand trap that the prey can't get out from. During this chance, the other adventurers make the kill and finish the quest in a normal scenario. The tactic he uses would obviously differ depending on the quest. You may be wondering, well, if Rudeus is so strong, why doesn't he just solo the quest and surprise the other adventurers, literally be that OP hero that we all read about? Well, there's a couple reasons why this is the worst possible idea. 1, you shouldn't underestimate a quest. He's only human, so if he makes a mistake, it's game over. You need fellow party members to back you up. Number 2, if a quest is like a group project, and someone does all the work, takes the credit, they seem like an uncooperative asshat that you wouldn't want to team up with next time. Rudeus wants to avoid that scenario and just wants to be on good terms with everyone. He doesn't really care about that egoistic fame or money at the moment. The boy just wants to find his mom again. Due to the fallout between Sarah and Rudeus, who is now embarrassed, depressed, and lost at the end of Volume 7, was invited by Soldat, an S-rank adventurer and a swordsman, to accompany his party's stepped leader as they were traveling to different towns across the north. This party was part of a bigger clan called Thunderbolt. A clan is basically a group of parties that officially join forces to help each other out, which is especially helpful for long and difficult quests. Rudeus did what he did before, acting as a substitute mage for different parties for several months, if not a year or two. A small thing I like about Mushoku Tensei is the realism. Sure, it's an isekai, but it takes time quite seriously. Like going from a town to another town, the duration of the journey is mentioned often by the author, rather than the main character just teleporting to the destination. This makes everything seem more real. Anyway, whilst traveling with Stepped Leader, there comes an S-rank quest to kill a red worm, or a red dragon in other words. Rudeus thought this would be another great way to make himself even more famous. because he still hadn't heard anything about Zenith after all this time. So killing a red dragon is going to be freaking difficult if you're not the MC. Red dragons are the unrivaled apex predators of the central continent. A single red dragon is around the low S rank difficulty, but they usually work in very large groups, for example 50 or more, and move together as a pack. Rudeus mentioned that even a sword, water, or north god would be dead if they attacked a group of red dragons. Sure, they may be able to kill the first 30 or 50 easily, but can they continue fighting non-stop for days? Hell no. Whereas the dragons can just keep coming, call for backup, and swarming until their target is dead. So if a quest came that needed to eliminate a swarm of red dragons, that would probably be a god rank quest. Even though that type of quest doesn't exist, but it's definitely really freaking difficult. The dragons have trouble flying from flat terrain because of physics. So they usually rely on the cliffs of the Red Worm mountain range to take flight. Like bro, the author made it make sense. Because how are these big beasts just casually flying in other shows without a care in the world? But here in Mushoku Tensei, there is some logic to this. This scene from season 1 shows this very well. It uses the cliff to jump off and then flaps away. Even I didn't realize this attention to detail until recently. There are occurrences where a red dragon falls off and lands in a small town and it gets stuck there because it can't fly away. So that's where these S-rank quests come to kill these stragglers. It's said that you require at least 40 A or S-rank members to complete the quest safely. And if they do kill the dragon, they get 1000 gold coins. That means nothing, right? But Rudeus mentioned the currency exchange early in the series, so put on your thinking hats. Back in season 1, Ghislaine said that she was being paid 2 Asura gold coins a month for being their bodyguard and teaching the sword to Eris. 1 Asura gold coin is approximately 100,000 yen, which equates to $715 according to the current exchange rate, which may mean nothing if you're living in a first world country like the US, but $715 in India or Philippines is quite a lot of money. So if they kill the dragon, in total they'll get $715,000. $750,000, which is kind of huge. So back to Rudeus and Soldat getting the quest for subjugating the red dragon. They were down a few people because it's extremely difficult to kill, and why the hell would a normal person throw their life away like that? In total, they had less than 20 people willing to participate, but they still decided to proceed because plot. This type of mission can take several days to complete because they need to find the beast, prepare, wait for the correct timing to attack, and like I said, if you're not the main character of the show or wait for the correct timing, you're most likely going to die. After killing it, you need to loot it, as in skin it, get its teeth or whatever body part that will fetch a high price on the market, and travel back to where you came from, all whilst taking care of other monsters or bandits that they find along the way. On the day they arrive to where the quest said the dragon was spotted, Soldat tells Rudeus to survey the surroundings to see if the dragon is nearby. So Rudeus makes this tall rock pillar, but he couldn't see any dragons around. However, he did see a group of Luster grizzlies running towards them, and behind them an immense cloud of snow, probably from all the running they were doing. They can't waste their energy fighting these isekai bears, but in this case they have to because they're coming right towards them. Soldat and everyone scatter out, hide, and prepare to ambush the bears, all whilst Rudeus casts Quagmire to trap them. And after they get stuck, the group start killing the bears like it's nothing. Suddenly they hear a loud roar and see the red dragon coming from behind the cloud of snow. So all this time the bears were running away from the dragon and were completely oblivious to the adventurers. You have this hungry monster that probably thinks you stole its prey and now wants you for dinner. They couldn't afford to fight the dragon now because they were unprepared. Soldat orders everyone to retreat. To help their escape, Rudeus makes a smokescreen using a spell called a deep mist. He melts the snow in the air to create a wall of water vapor. Dragons are smart creatures. On top of their world-class strength and firepower, they're extremely cunning. It knew Rudeus was casting this spell and switched its target from the bears to him. After realizing this, he ran in an opposite direction from the party members to save their lives and made the dragon run around in circles as it was chasing Rudeus. His daily running and body training helped him a lot here. The dragon got agitated and finally used a fire breath. This attack is more dangerous than you may think. Consider this scene from Naruto. Anything in its path would be destroyed. Rudeus protected himself using a giant wall of water. The fire breath was so strong that it was penetrating through the wall and burning the edges of Rudeus's cloak. Okay, stop right there. After the dragon used fire breath, it was a bit of a weird transition seeing a close-up of Rudeus protecting himself using a wall of water. I really wanted them to make something like the Madara versus the Shinobi Alliance scene. That would have been so epic. Simultaneously, Rudeus created a giant stone cannon and hurled it at the dragon. The attack was strong enough to pierce its scales, which are known to be very tough. Rudeus did a Gatling attack of stone cannons. The dragon was able to evade some, but it was an endless barrage. My biggest meh about this scene right here is that the dragon's head gets bigger and smaller across frames and becomes almost like a T-Rex with a big head in some. I was expecting the size to be a bit consistent. Also, note this red dragon from Orsted's encounter was much bigger, so maybe this dragon wasn't even an adult? But that wasn't mentioned in the light novel, so it's a bit vague. But Elena Lee's important scenes in this episode make up for everything, so yeah, I'm happy. Realizing that it would lose, the dragon started running away. Luckily, it got stuck in the same quagmire Rudeus casted before. Using this opportunity, Rudeus poured even more mana to deepen it. The dragon at this point was helpless. He then conjured up a humongous stone cannon and shot it at the dragon to completely finish it off. And this is the story of how Rudeus Greyrat defeated a red dragon by himself.